everyone. I'm here with Douglas Cowper. Mr. Cowper is a manager over Bahamas Trade, as you all know. And I've chosen him because he is a coach and he delegates extremely well. Okay, so today we'll be discussing how he delegates and some of his successes and failures in delegating. I've also chosen him because normally, as we spoke in the leadership development, when I go to him and try to put a monkey on two on his back, before I know it, he pushed them back on my back, and I'm not even aware that he's doing it. So that's how well he is. That's how good he is. He delegates
I
very
learned from
well.
Daphne too.
Okay, so Mr. Cowper, how do you delegate so effectively?
I think it comes down to experience. I think it comes down to being put in a position where you sometimes don't have a choice. There's only so much that you can do in so little time. I'll give you an example. In 2011, we lost our terminal manager, our warehouse manager, our operations manager, our heavy equipment manager in NASA.
Wow.
And those roles weren't backfilled. So by attrition, I had to come in, but we were lucky that we had great tenure with a lot of our folks like Jeffrey Wilkinson, DeCosta DeVoe, Arlington Stewart, Mario Butler. So essentially what I did was I was able to categorize all the different functions that needed to go on every single day. And I think the key word is you have to be able to trust people that you're delegating this responsibility to. So one is you have to have faith and you have to have trust in the folks that you work with. I think you have to be very specific and direct in what you're delegating, what their responsibility is, what your expectations are, and part of that is really your responsibility is to then coach them into taking on that responsibility. So there has been it's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. But I think you as an individual have to understand is that you can't do everything. You can't do it all yourself. And the more you take on and the less that you delegate, the less effective you become. So you have to be a good leader, you have to be able to delegate.
That's awesome, though. Okay, so do you have any success stories? What are your successes in delegating?
We'll go back to operations. Mario Butler. Mario was a mechanic 5-6 years ago. He took on that responsibility, he took on that role. He was promoted to heavy equipment lead. Now he's the heavy equipment maintenance manager. Our KPIs over the past 5 years have been the best in our history in Nassau.
Wow.
And it's a perfect example is that we used to bring people in as managers over some of our team. Here's somebody who's come through the system and has progressed through the system, who's a manager, a very effective manager. You have a look at folks like Jeffrey Wilkinson, DeCosta DeVoe. They have a sense of trust. They understand that they have a responsibility, and they are solely the people who are responsible for the failures or successes. So they have ownership, and
do you ever have challenges like they would come to you and say, "Well, Doug, I don't think I can do this," and how do you coach them through that?
Well, a lot of it is you turn it around. So you say, well, what do you think you should do? And 80% of the time they have the answer. They're unsure. Part of your role is to enforce their commitment, and they actually know. So sometimes they are going to come to you for validation, but I think it's turn that around and say, okay, what would you do? And 8 times out of 10, it's the right answer. And so sometimes you have to trust them. You have to go with their word. Sometimes you have to let people make mistakes so that so for the future they know better. But I think as you sit down, you discuss it, you collectively come together with a plan, and then you execute that plan. And then if it doesn't work out, you come back and you talk about it and you say, well, next time we'll do it this way.
Sounds good. So, do you think you've made any mistakes in delegating?
lots.
Maybe delegating to the wrong person, or when you delegate, maybe you didn't do it. In hindsight, you didn't do it correctly. So, do you have any examples of any
Yeah, I mean,
mistakes?
you've got to have trust 1st, and not every time you delegate, it's not always going to be a success. It's just part of the process. And if you delegate that responsibility to one person, and that person you've got to give them the opportunity. Over time, it doesn't work out. It's okay, because you've put that responsibility on them. If they're not comfortable with it, then you have to go and find someone else. So I don't look at it as failures. I just look at it as that you just have to. You got to try, and if it doesn't work, then you have to try something else until you get to a success. I think one of the worst things you can do is micromanage people, and that's where I haven't had success. Is you've got to trust people. You've got to give them the opportunity. You cannot be behind them, micromanaging them, asking them for updates every single day, etc., etc. You've got to be more of a coach. You've got to be more of a leader, and you've got to ensure that they understand that they have your support. So it's really delegate, circle around whenever it needs to be, just to for them to give you an update on how things are going, what's gone well, what hasn't gone well, and it's just good communication. That's really all it is.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Bahamas Trade Manager, the one and only Douglas Cowper. Thank you so much. I know you're very, very busy. But there you have it, one of the best delegators in the Bahamas.
Well,
in tropical, I would say. But thank you so much for your time, kind sir.
thank you, Daphne.
Okay. Bye-bye.